right, well, good afternoon. Here we are taking a look at our first CFU worksheet from chapter 1.1, where you have a couple problems dealing basically with making sure you have the understanding of categorical and quantitative variables. So the first question is basically, can you identify the difference between both? So let's read through it and do the problem. So number one says a medical study variables. Data from a medical study contains values of many variables for each of the people who were the subject of the study. Here are some of the variables recorded. So we have gender, age, race, smoker, systolic blood pressure, level of calcium in the blood. So it asks you to identify each as categorical or quantitative. So I'm going to start off here with a categorical. So when I think of categorical, again, think of data that is placed in categories, that answers yes, no questions, that doesn't deal with numerical values. So as I go through this, for instance, gender, male or female, either you're a male or you're female, so gender is definitely categorical. Age, years, since that's numerical, no. Race, since you're put based on your race, Asian, black, white, or other, that would definitely, you're placed in a category. Okay. Smoker, that's a yes, no question, so that's definitely categorical. Systolic blood pressure, millimeters of mercury, that's a measurement. That's a numerical. That's going to be our quantitative, which will be coming up here in a second. Level of calcium, that's also going to be. So those are just the three categorical. The other three are going to be quantitative, because as mentioning before, when I think of quantitative, I'm thinking of numbers. Okay, if it's numerical and you can measure it that way. So when we're talking about age, okay, years, that's a number. Systolic blood pressure, okay, that's a numerical value. They actually give you the units there, okay, which was millimeters of mercury. So blood pressure, sorry. And then the last one there was level of calcium. In the blood. Again, that is a measurement, since it says micrograms per milliliter, that's an actual numerical measurement. All right, that takes care of the first question. Question number 2, called coaster craze. It says here, many people would like to ride roller coasters. Amusement parks try to increase attendance by building exciting new coasters. The table below displays data on several roller coasters that were open in 2009. So as you can see here, there are 2, 4, 5 different roller coasters with this one here, Prowler, highlighted, which will come up in one of these questions. So in question A, it asks you, what individuals does this data describe? When they ask you to describe it, don't just give like just a quick answer by just saying roller coasters. It is describing roller coasters, but be more specific. When? Was it all roller coasters in the United States period, or was it during a specific time frame? In this case, we want to be specific by saying it's not only roller coasters, but it's roller coasters that opened in the year 2009. Okay, notice how it says here, roller coasters that were opened in 2009. So that helps me identify the individuals. Now, B says, clearly identify each of the variables. So each roller coaster, that's our individual, okay? And then you're also asked which are quantitative and what units are they measured in. So what I've done here is I'm going to classify them as categorical and quantitative. you're asked which are quantitative, and then they're also asked to note what units are they measured in for the quantitative variables. So just to help you out here, I'm going to start by saying categorical, just because I want to name those values. So in here, we have the name of the coaster, the roller coaster. Okay. The type, so what it's made out of, because again, that's not numerical. Anything that's not numerical up here, and the design, I would consider categorical. Quantitative, that's our, again, numerical data. So quantitative values here, we're talking about here the height. Oops. And that is measured in feet. Okay. Then you have the speed of the roller coaster. How fast does it get? That's measured in miles per hour. And then the last is the duration. Basically, how long does the roller coaster go for? That's measured in seconds. So now, question C asks you to describe the individual highlighted, okay, or that's in the highlighted row. So now I'm looking at everything that's in there. So I want to make sure that I mention everything. So we just want to write a quick sentence that covers all of those pieces. So I'll start off by saying the roller coaster named Prowler, so or you could say the Prowler roller coaster, I suppose, is a sit-down coaster made of wood. Okay, so I got my first sentence, and just to kind of check, I took care of the name, I took care of wood, and I took care of sit down. So I actually went with all the categoricals as kind of like my first part of my description. Then in my second sentence, I'm going to try to get all the rest of them. Its height is 102.3 feet. It goes a max speed of 51.2 miles per hour, and the ride lasts for 150 seconds. Okay, that ends the CFU for chapter 1.1.